Greetings and welcome back to another pickup video. I will once again preface this entire video by apologizing for the air conditioner and fan. It is once again far too hot in here to sit in here and do a video without them. So they're on. Okay, they're on. Just know that they're on. I got a lot of games. I really did. I got a lot of games the first part of this month. This will be my first September pickups. You know, I don't save for a few things here and there that that fall into my lap or something. This is it probably until October. Some couple things coming out in October that I plan on picking up, but for the most part, I think I'm good for a while. I got a lot of stuff. All games, actually. There's no music or movies in this video. I haven't bought movies in a long time, but yeah. So I bought a few games at GameStop. I bought a few from my local thrift, which was amazing to find. And I did 3 trades. Is it 3? Yeah, 3 trades. 1, 2, 3, 3 trades, and I got a couple of games from Haas too, which don't really count as pickups, but they are games that aren't in my collection that are in my possession right now that I am playing or have played most of or some of. So I'll start the video with those because they're technically not really mine. First up, I did borrow Harvest Moon Boy Girl from him just to dip my toes into the Harvest Moon universe, aside from Rune Factory, which is a great game. I don't like this one as much. I really kind of like the fantasy things that are added into Rune Factory, and I felt like that with this, you know, the graphics in this are obviously a lot better. And I like the more isometric view as opposed to pretty much top down, which is what Rune Factory is. And I like that you can hop over plants and small rocks and logs and stuff. I like that. I mean, there are things that I liked, but you know, I haven't. I only put, you know, maybe an hour and a half or a couple hours into this. So, you know, it's Harvest Moon. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can say about it. It's fun. I don't know that I'll play it a ton more, but you know, some. I haven't played Rune Factory in weeks, which is just nuts for how fast I got addicted to that game. I really kind of fell off of it pretty fast too. Next is a DS game that I borrowed from him. This game is really interesting. Pretty easy for the most part. I think I'm on the second to last world. It got a little bit tougher as it progressed through, but like at least up to the point where I was a few hours into it, or a couple hours anyway. It's really arcadey. It's called Devilish, and don't let the title fool you. I mean, it's really it's an odd game, and it's not, you know, like when I see the name Devilish and I see a cover art like that, I would think it's some sort of like almost like a Castlevania type game. And the artwork is very reminiscent of that type of game. It's, I don't know, it's interesting. I compare it to a Pinball Quest for the NES, in that that's kind of what you're doing, but it's more like, plays more like an Arkanoid or a Breakout, where you have these 2 paddles, and the 2 paddles, you can see them right there. Where's one and there's the other. And you knock this ball back and forth in Brick Breaker or Arkanoid Breakout type fashion. You move it side to side to keep this ball from getting past you. But the 2 paddles, they move parallel to each other, side to side. They don't separate. But you can move the top one up and down, but they still keep that same parallel going left to right. But also the top paddle can pivot to hit the ball, you know, in a different direction. can spin all the way around, so you can hit the ball in any direction that you want to. And you're using this ball or power sphere thing to break walls and kill enemies and stuff like that. And there's bosses and things. And ultimately, you're trying to get through this maze type level to get to the exit. And obviously, the further you progress, the more difficult the maze itself is. And it's a really interesting concept for a game, and I quite enjoyed what I played of it. Like I said, I did play it for a couple of hours, and I got kind of stuck, and I got kind of burnt out on it because I played it in like one day. And yeah, but it's a fun game, so I'm definitely going to try and finish that before I return it to him. Okay, next up is one of the trades that I did. This was with a YouTuber. His name is nicktwolf on YouTube, all one word, and pretty cool dude. Does some cool videos. I found him a while back. He did some just kind of chatty reviews, kind of like I do, where you sit and talk about a game and offer up opinions and stuff. So that's how I found his video, and he just messaged me asking me if I had wanted this game because we had talked back and forth a little bit about like Harvest Moon and the Rune Factory series. So he asked me if I wanted it, and I said sure, and he sent it on. And then I sent him a list of things that I had available, and he said, yeah, that would be alright. So he picked out a game, and I sent it to him, and he sent me a loose copy of Puzzle de Harvest Moon. You can't really see it there, but we did have the manual too. Puzzle de Harvest Moon. I just had an extra DS case, so I put that in there with the manual, and yeah. This game is pretty interesting. It says it's a puzzle game, Puzzle de Harvest Moon, and I get it. I get it, but it's not really a puzzle game. Basically, what it is you've got the Harvest Moon field. You got the field there where you plant the crops. It's already tilled, ready to go, and you're competing against 3 other players. Obviously it's the AI characters on the for just me, competing against 3 AI characters. And what you do is it's got a little bar on the side, and it's got complete with your seeds and watering cans and fertilizer, baskets to harvest, and then you've got other power-ups like the chicken who like eats other players' seeds, and a horse and a dog and a cow that all do different things. And I haven't totally figured out what all of them do. I think the dog like protects your area, seeds that you've planted. I don't know. But then you're racing the clock and racing the other players to plant seeds, water them, fertilize them, and harvest them. And then the more you do, the more you harvest, the more points you get. And it goes through all the 4 seasons in like however long segments you set up. There's like 4, 6, and 8 minutes. Like, so if you got things set up for 4 minutes, each season is only 1 minute long, and different crops and different points and blah blah blah. So basically, you're just trying to set it up to plant crops and harvest them as fast as you can to beat the clock. And this is why I don't know why it's considered a puzzle game, other than your crops have a certain color, and the power-ups, the seeds and the watering can stuff kind of flow down this bar on the side, as you use them. So it's like it's kind of sets up kind of like a Tetris or something like that. I don't know, but the object of it has nothing to do with a puzzle. You're just planting and harvesting crops. And to harvest, you can either use the basket, or if you don't have a basket, you can just take the stylus and sit there and rub back and forth, and it will slowly harvest. And you can also steal other players' plants. You can harvest their crops by doing that same thing, but you only get half as many points. So if they're hogging up all the space and you can't plant anything, harvest theirs. Or if it's like about time for the round to be over, then just do that. Especially if you're ahead by a little bit. But I mean, obviously you can ramp up the difficulty, and there's some replayability to it. I really wish that there was some sort of a story mode, because there isn't. It's all just do it and see if you can get the high score. I wish there was some sort of story mode, more of an incentive to play it for me. But it's a fun game. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it's weird that I've played some of these games so much. It's been a little bit since my last pickup video. These games I actually just got in the mail today. I haven't played any of them yet. I haven't put them in yet. I just got home like an hour ago. So yeah, I wanted to come up here and do the pickups video. This was the package I was waiting for to do my video. It's a person on Atari age. Had some things available in my thread. They wanted them, and I picked out these 3 games and a strategy guide, and we went ahead with the trade. So what I ended up with was a complete copy of Final Fantasy III for the DS. Now, I know if you follow my channel or you just know me, you know that I already have this game. But since it was a trade, I was pretty much, and I really didn't want anything else they had. This was kind of a throw-in. I said, what the heck, we'll go for a complete copy so I can actually have the case. And it is the full meal deal. It's got the cart and everything, full meal deal. So now I have an extra one of Final Fantasy III loose for trade. So if anybody wants that, there it is. Okay, next. Now here was the meat and potatoes of the trade. The games that I actually wanted. I mentioned this in my Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles video. I did get Crystal Chronicles Ring of Fates, sorry, for the DS. Looking forward to that. And also, I picked up a copy of Heroes of Mana, and this was the strategy guide too. I know that this game gets, pretty meh reviews, but I was interested in it. And since it was a trade, I didn't lose much, I take a risk for a DS game that I wanted to play. Okay, here is, I should have showed these, I should have seen the good stuff, whatever. Picked up these in my local thrift, just 6 games, I spent $2 a piece on them. Nothing super special, nothing rare or amazing, but I don't really care. I wasn't after rare and amazing. I just went in there just to glance and see if they had anything, and lo and behold, this time they did. They had some games, so I was pretty excited. If you knew how small of a town I lived in, you would also be surprised to ever find anything in a thrift store. But I picked up, for the PlayStation 1, we got a copy of Crash Team Racing. I like these kind of cartoony-ish Mario Kart clone kinds of games, so I picked that up. Namco Museum Volume 3. I'm a big fan of Atari 2600 stuff and old arcade games, so I was pretty happy to have that. And I picked up a copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. It's in the original case, but it doesn't have a manual. That's fine, because I want to play the game, not read the manual. And a PlayStation 1 copy of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3. So, there you go. There's all that business. I've played Tony Hawk 2 quite a bit on the PlayStation 1, but I've never played 3 on the PS1. I've only ever played it on the PS2, so I'm interested to see if there's a big difference, which I doubt that there is. Another cartoony type racer. We got a Pac-Man World Rally. And another PlayStation 2 game, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. It's a movie game. I'm sure it won't be amazing, but hey, for $2, I'll take a risk on a Transformers game. If not, I know someone who will probably love it. So, okay, 2 more things. Well, a trade and some games I picked up. 6 more games here, or 7 more games here. Another trade I did with a good buddy, Ken 16-bit. Hooked me up with some games, and we did a trade. And he was watching my my vacation pickups and listened to the story about how I missed out on the burger time down there because he wanted 12 freaking bucks for it. So no way. So this is what started the trade. Was he said that he had an extra copy of Burger Time. So now I have a copy of Burger Time. I know that this isn't the best port of this game ever. I don't care. I like Burger Time, and I really wanted to play it on the NES. So there we have it. And then he also hooked me up with a copy of Panzer Dragoon Orta for the Xbox. This is an awesome game. I'm playing it right now. I'm about, I don't know, I think I'm about halfway through. I'm on episode 6 right now. It's a lot of fun. It's an on-rail shooter. If you didn't know that, it's a pretty awesome game. And then hooked me up with Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon for the DS. This is a DS remake of the original Fire Emblem game on the NES, or the Super Famicom, Famicom in Japan. So this is pretty cool. Love DS games. Speaking of DS, finally picked up a copy of Chrono Trigger for the DS. Never played Chrono Trigger, never had the Super NES version. I don't really want it because it's really expensive, and I would rather have it on the DS anyway, so there we go, got it. Alright, now the last 3 games here. No shocker, I did pick up Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 3 when it was released last week on the 3rd of September. Love this game. Played it, beat it, started a second campaign. I'm on Nightmare mode now. Having a lot of fun with it still, and I plan on continuing to play for now. I also picked up a copy of Dead Space for the PlayStation 3. I haven't played it yet. I love what I've seen of the Dead Space world so far. I watched Dead Space Downfall on Netflix, and that is amazing. If you haven't seen it yet and you have Netflix and you're interested, definitely check out Downfall. It takes place before this game, but it also takes place, the events that happen in that game are Dead Space Extraction, the game, the on-rail shooter. So, I mean, if you haven't played that, you want to, and you watch this, it'll kind of ruin some plot points, I'm sure. But I didn't know that until after the fact, but that probably wouldn't have stopped me anyway. I do want to play Extraction, and I'm sure that it'll be just as good, even having seen it. And then lastly here, for the 3DS, I picked up Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. This is that odd SMT game that originally came out on Saturn in Japan, and then came out on the 3DS years and years later. Pretty excited to have this, my first SMT game. I know that this is probably a lot harder than SMT4, which I also really want, but the prices were still a little bit too steep on SMT4. A new copy with the strategy guide and all that good stuff in that big box is $50, and then a used copy that was just in the case like this without the strategy guide and box and stuff was still $45. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. So, and the only reason I got this because this was still $30, but I cashed in some rewards points from GameStop, and got a $20 off coupon of any used game. So I mean, I could have got the used SMT4 for $25, but I got this for $10 instead. So I think that is it. That is a bunch of games. I should be busy for a while. I should be busy for a while anyway with all that crap back there, but whatever. Having fun playing games. Like I said, I'm playing Panzer Dragoon Orta right now, and also Diablo 3 still. Having a lot of fun with those. I beat Liberation Maiden on the 3DS. It's an eShop game. Pretty awesome shooter. So, yeah. That's about it. So, I want to thank you for watching. Doomwaves out.